Let's talk about building wealth as a teenager and even in your 20s. Every single tip in this video is actually practical, and it's something I do in my own life. So far, they've worked out pretty well for me. So let's get into it. Hey everybody, my name is Hisham Khan and welcome to Income Over Outcome, where I give you college, career, and of course, personal finance tips. The first thing that may come to your mind when you think about building wealth is probably investing. And you're right, investing is really important, but since we're young, that shouldn't be our main focus. My first tip is to focus on education and learning skills that will actually give you a high income. The more money you're able to invest, the more your investments will make. So getting your income up is really important. For most people, that means going to college. But in today's day and age, you most definitely don't need to go to school to build wealth. Some of the most important skills out there, like programming, SEO, marketing, I could go on and on, could be learned online. If you do go to college, which you should probably do unless you're already in a good position to start making money, or you have a solid plan of what to do without a college degree, then you need to make sure your college degree is actually worth it. If you're spending $100,000 on a degree that's only going to make you $50,000 a year, then you're not going to be in the best financial shape when you graduate. What I personally did is get a high income degree, but I also learned really valuable skills outside of the classroom, and that really took my income to the next level. If there's anything you need to take away from this video, it's this second tip, and that's that you need to hit that like button and that notification bell, because 90% of you watching still aren't subbed, and I know who you are. But in all seriousness, tip number 2 is to learn to market yourself. Knowing high income skills is pointless if no one is willing to pay you for them. So being able to convince someone that you can bring them value and then delivering on that is a huge piece of the puzzle. Marketing yourself can be applied to any situation in life, from building a business to finding a 9-to-5 job, and even when it comes to finding friends and dating. Why should people choose you over someone else? What do you have that makes you stand out from other people? I could go on and on about this, but if you want advice on how to market yourself for an internship or even a job, feel free to check out this video here. I'll also link it at the end of this video and in the description. Steps 1 and 2 are the basics of making money, and most people are just fine at doing that. But the big mistake is that they'll stop right there. But if your goal is truly to build wealth, you need to take it a step further. So that's what the rest of this video will be about. Number 3 is to take calculated risks. As young people, we have no one holding us back but ourselves. We don't have to worry about supporting a family or spend time raising children. So now is the best time for us to be a little risky. So many people will graduate college, get a great job, but then they get comfortable with that and they'll do the same thing until they retire. But that path is not going to build you a great amount of wealth. If you're truly passionate about something, then don't hesitate, do it and make a business out of it. But everything you do needs to be calculated. Don't just drop out of school to become a vlogger or a day trader. That's not that smart, because your chances of success are low and you have no backup. A calculated risk means that you minimize the downside. If plan A doesn't work out, then you should still have a plan B and a plan C. Now, I've taken a bunch of different risks following this logic, and the most recent one was starting this whole social media business. All of this takes hundreds of hours, and there's no guarantee I'm ever going to make any money off of it. But before I started it, I did make sure I was in a good position to be able to deal with any failure. If none of this works out financially, I'll still be in a great position because I have other streams of income. Plus, I'm happy with what I'm doing because it actually has an impact on other people's lives. Every single successful person out there took some sort of risk, and trust me, I know it can be real scary, but you're more likely to regret not doing something than actually doing it, so you might as well just start now. This next one kind of plays into number 3, and that's to diversify your income. You can't rely on one high-paying job if you want to build wealth. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income, so if one goes down or completely disappears, they still have 6 other ways of making money. Once you start earning money, think about how you can use that money to make you even more money. Maybe you take a risk like I talked about earlier and start a business, or you decide to go into real estate. Those are just some basic examples, but you can do anything you want that has the potential to make you money. Passive income is the key to building wealth. The more passive income sources are able to build at a young age, the better position you'll be in when you're older. Now, I want you to think about how you can increase and diversify your income based on where you're at in life right now, and let me know what you come up with in the comments. As you work on increasing and diversifying your income, you should also be investing, because that's the easiest way to make your money work for you. Now, I want to break investing into two categories. The first is investing for retirement. Now, you might be thinking, Hisham, retirement is a lifetime away. I want to spend my money now when I can actually enjoy it. Why should I be spending money on retirement? Well, there's a few benefits of investing for retirement early, and the first is compound interest. Compound interest makes it so that the amount of time you're invested for matters way more than the amount that you're investing. Here's an example. If you invest an average of $3,000 a year starting at 20 years old into an S&P 500 index fund in a Roth IRA, you would retire at 65 with $1,159,517. Now, if you started at 30 years old instead, but you doubled your investment to $6,000 a year, you would have less money at $1,033,901. The person who started investing at 20 put in just $135,000 of their own money into the stock market over 45 years, but they gained over $1 million in returns, whereas the person who started investing at 30 invested way more money, $210,000, but because they were invested for less time, they only gained $829,901 in returns. I know that sounds a little complicated, but the gist is the earlier you start investing, the better it will be for you. Now, investing in retirement accounts also has huge tax benefits. I always recommend that you invest in a Roth 401k or Roth IRA because those grow tax-free and you don't have to pay taxes on them when you take out money. Every penny of that $1.1 million in that Roth IRA would be yours to spend exactly how you want once you retire. But if you invested in a normal retirement account instead, you could pay up to 20% of your gains in taxes. Of course, we want to be able to spend money before we retire. So step number 6 is to invest in addition to retirement. Retirement accounts actually have a limit on how much money you can put into them. So once you max out your retirement accounts, what you should do is invest in normal investment accounts. That's why building a high income and diversifying it is super important. The more disposable income you have to invest, the better. I invest a huge portion of my income into S&P 500 index funds because I find them to be the easiest and safest way to invest in the stock market. I also buy some individual stocks here and there, but my main focus is really index funds. Most of my extra money is actually working for me. If I ever need to buy something huge, I can easily sell some shares to get the money I need. Step number 7 is a huge mistake a lot of young people make when they start earning money, and that's that you shouldn't spend money just because you have it. If something isn't a necessity or it won't make you more money, then you shouldn't buy it. A lot of people will start making 6 figures and go out to really expensive dinners, buy designer clothes, and even get luxury cars. But those things will only make you feel happy until you realize you're living paycheck to paycheck to support an unnecessary lifestyle. I would absolutely love to go out and buy a brand new Mercedes right now, but I know that cars are huge money pits. If I went out and spent $50,000 on a car, not only would it be worth $40,000 by the time I drove off the lot, but I would also have to spend thousands of dollars in maintenance. Would the car be a lot nicer than the Honda I drive right now? Sure. Will I look a lot cooler in the Mercedes? Probably. But will the extra money I'm spending bring that much more value into my life? Definitely not. Instead, I'll take that $50,000 I could have spent on the car and invest it so it actually makes me more money. Maybe I'll buy the Mercedes when that $50,000 turns into $200,000. There's this famous quote, if you can't buy it twice, then you can't afford it. But that's not enough for me. I take it a step further. If I can't buy it 3 times, then I can't afford it. But even if I can't afford it, I probably don't need it. You don't need to be a genius to build wealth. If you have the motivation and work ethic, I have no doubt you'll get there.